Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and as you can see behind me, well, not behind me, but where are we? That way a bit. It's episode 1 of Andor. Now, there's going to be full spoilers, by the way. The 3 episodes dropped at once, but I'm going to do 3 separate reviews for each one, because it's easier that way. So let's just get on with it. Let's hit the intro. Right, I'm back. So, Season 1, Episode 1 of Andor. I don't think they have titles, it just says Episode 1 on the Disney Plus web page. Not web page, page. You know, I don't watch it on the internet, I watch it through my Xbox. Whatever, right. So let's get on with it, shall we? Before we start, I should say I wasn't immensely impressed with it. I did enjoy it, but did it feel like Star Wars? I'm not exactly sure. It kind of did, but didn't at the same time. But I did enjoy it, so I just thought I'd get that out of the way first. But I didn't think it was amazing. But anyway, right, so we'll crack on. So we'll get it up. There we go. So a blank screen, because that's all that's happening. Hang on, where are we? There we go. Oh, hang on, I've got to just mute the bugger. Right, obviously I'm not going to play it. We're just going to go through it. So anyway, the usual logos. And there we go. This title takes forever to come on. Beginning of each episode, you're thinking, come on, just get on with it, just show Andor. And it slowly emerges. That's going to be annoying. And they don't say skip. You know, skip. The skip. You can skip the recaps and skip the original titles, you know, that show the heads. See if I can show it here. See, we've gone back a bit, and that's part of the title. You can skip that bit, but you can't skip this. Look how long it goes on for. Anyway, right, so we're off. Right, so there's this chap here. This is obviously Cassian Andor. He's walking along a bridge, a well-lit bridge. It tells us where we are. Look, can you read that? Yep. Molana 1, Preox Morgana Corporate Zone. Now, it's all about the corporations, really, in these first 3 episodes. It's all about the corporations. The Empire's mentioned, but we don't actually see, you know, any Imperial officers. We don't see any stormtroopers or anything like that. We get some flashbacks, presumably through the Clone Wars, or of the Clone Wars era, but we don't see any clone troopers either. So anyway, so I'm just thought I'd throw that out there. So anyway, we're on Morlana 1, so a planet I've never heard of. I've never heard of any of the planets in this series. So let's just move on. So anyway, so he's heading to what is it termed a brothel? By the way, there's some spicy language in this series that you're not really accustomed to in Star Wars. They use the B word and the S word. So there you go. So it's Star Wars for grown-ups, that's what it is, which is what I'd call Rogue One a bit. You know, that would a bit like Star Wars for grown-ups, wasn't it? So there he is, there's Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna. Sneaking about, a lot of sneaking about. Look, there's these aliens in things. I'm guessing this is supposed to be like, you know, like the red light district in Amsterdam, where you see the girls in the windows. I'm guessing this is supposed to be a little bit like that. I could be wrong, but that's the impression I got. Anyway, heads in here. Right, so that's it. Stuff happens. I must admit, it is quite drawn out, and it's quite a slow burn. There is action in it. Stuff does happen, but it's quite a slow burn. Right, so he gets a drink at the bar. I thought he had a gun then, but it's him holding his drink. And this hostess sidles up to him. Notice these chaps on the other side of the bar. They become important soon. So they want her, but she says she's busy with this client, and somebody else will attend to them. But they're getting a bit noisy, and he suggests that she goes over to them, but she says, "Oh no, they're just security. They're just corporate security. You know, they think they're policemen, but they're not, and they just get loud." Anyway, it turns out he starts asking a question, so she gets a bit suspicious. Thinks it might be like an imperial agent or something, or a cop or whatever. But in the end, he starts asking about a girl from I forgot the name of it now. Is it Killarney? See, I've forgotten already. I've just finished watching it like half an hour ago. I forgot everything. I should take notes, shouldn't I? But I don't. So he's looking at a girl from Killarney, and she says, "Well, we've got So she goes away and then comes back, and she says, we've no girls from Killarney, but we've got a girl from somewhere else. She's got the same big eyes." And he says, "Not interested." And she says, "Who are you looking for? A lover, whatever." He says, "No, he's looking for his sister." And then she says, "Well, we did have a girl that came through here, but she's gone now." And he says, "What was her name?" "If she's your sister, don't you know her bloody name?" She says, "Nobody uses the real names." So that doesn't help. So that's that, really. So anyways, he has a bit of a talking with these men, and it's obviously something's going to happen in a bit. This is her telling him about the girl that's come and gone. So he leaves. Obviously, it's raining. Heading down a dark alley, and then he hears these security guards behind him telling him to stop. So he does, and they've got a gun on him. And he says he's got 300 credits in his coat. I've gone too far now, haven't I? Says he's got 300 credits in his coat. I'm rubbish at this. And as this chap goes into to collect it, Cassian throws his head back, headbutts him. He goes down, and he tackles the other chap, gets his gun off him. You see, action, bit of fighting, bit of fisticuffs. But it turns out the fella he headbutted has killed him. He must have rammed his nose or something into his brain. There's no blood or anything, but he's just dead. So got this other chap's begging for his life, and he says, nothing's happened. I'll say he fell and it was a fight and it was an accident. We can say all that. But Cassian's having none of this, and he just shoots him. He's telling him, look, he's killed him. He's killed his friend, his partner or whatever. Comrade, that's what he's I suppose. And so here he is pleading for his life. But have I gone too far? But Cassian, bang, just shoots him. Cold-blooded murder. And this is before he joins the Rebel Alliance, by the way. I don't actually know what he does. It doesn't really say. I suspect he's supposed to be working in this scrapyard, this junker's yard, whatever they call it, breaker's yard. I suspect he's supposed to be working there, but he never seems to go there, apart from to talk to his friend. The rest of the time he's just seen sneaking about doing dodgy deals. So I think he's like an Aladdin type character, a street rat. So anyway, after that, he gets in his ship, heads back to where he's from, which is a planet called, I think it's called Ferrix. I'm probably remembering that wrong as well. Anyway, so we cut to this other planet, and these weird alien dogs appear. There's a droid trundling along, as we'll see in a moment. There we go. This is B2 Emo. Yeah. Ha ha. He's actually quite an endearing droid. He's quite old, it seems. He's a bit bashed up, look, and he stutters. He's obviously got some malfunction in his vocal capacity, so he stutters and gives it all, hello, Cassian, and all that. He's got a voice like that. And he's quite endearing. But I don't know why they called him Emo, because, whatever. Anyway, these dogs run past him. Another one, and then this last dog, I've gone too far. This last dog pees on him. There we go. starts peeing on him. Let's see if I can... There we go. This last dog here, look, just cocks his leg. There we go. Starts peeing on him. So B2 zaps him. A bit like R2 in, Return of the Jedi with the Ewoks. Gives the dog a little zap and it runs off. So he heads back on his way, and he is out in this. This is the, the breaker's yard. Well, I think it is. But Cassian's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's working on doing something with his ship, and I think this is a ship that we see later on. But we'll in another episode. But we'll get to that. B2 goes inside. Oh, there we have a flashback now for some weird reason. Right, what we're seeing now here, this is the planet... I forgot what they call it. Oh, it's Canary. Not Kalini, Canary. So... I got there in the end. Was born 26 BBY and died, obviously, 0 BBY. But there's no year 0, is there? There shouldn't be anyway. There's no year 0 in our calendar, so why is there a 0 BBY on Scarif? But anyway, that's spoilers for Rogue One. Right, so they're on Ferrix. It's from Canary. Right, where were we? Anyway, so this is on Canary, and we see he's living... It's like... They're basically like a tribe, and, they're unsophisticated. They've no technology other than, like, blow darts and things like that. They're depicting them as, like, Native Americans. Is that the term that you can use these days? I don't know. I can't keep up, First people, indigenous, whatever. These are the sort of people that they are. They're speaking their own language. It's not giving us subtitles or anything. So the hunter-gatherers, that's what they are. So anyway, so we're seeing that. And we see his sister's with him. So I presume that's who he's looking for at the beginning. We don't know what happens to her. She's never mentioned again in these first 3 episodes. But anyway, right, so we'll go through that now. We're back with... They do quite a few of these flashbacks, by the way, and they just cut into them. That's it. No woman and ahhing. Right, we're back with Cassian here now. He's nursing after this fight. He's got bruised knuckles. He's nursing them. B2's brought him like a I don't know, a Bacter patch or something. So he puts that on his hand. So that's what happens there. He's talking to him, saying, he wants him to lie for him, tell him that, he didn't see him and stuff like that. He's asking a few people to lie for him here, by the way. He goes and asks his friend at the scrapyard. This is what's going to happen here. He's going to ask him to lie for him and tell him that he were with him all night and they got drunk and stuff like that and had a good night out. So his friend says, yeah, whatever. So that happens there. Then we cut to these are the security, the corporate security. This is an old chap, the head of security. This is a ambitious young officer. It's telling him about the murder on I presume this is back on Morlana 1 or whatever it was called. But the old chap, him there, he just wants to brush it under the carpet. Say, oh, it was an accident. We don't need this nonsense. The fellas that were killed, were trouble causers anyway, and nobody will miss them. So that's what he says. He's off for a meeting, and when he gets back, he wants to see an accident report on his desk. But this young officer, I presume he's got a name, but I don't actually know if it mentions it. But anyway, he wants nothing to do with that. He's going to solve the crime without his knowledge. We don't see him again, by the way. So, basically this young chap takes over the investigation. So he's looking for Cassian now. Right, Cassian, he goes and meets with, this is Bix, I do believe. You know what? I should have the bloody cast list up, shouldn't I? But I haven't. Because I'm unprepared. As per usual. I'm unprepared. Right, that's Bix, played by the amazingly gorgeous Audrey Ayana. So thanks, IMDb. Hang on, I'm just getting the cast list up so I can check back at it when needed. Right, there we go. Yeah, Audrey Ayana, and I must admit she's amazingly gorgeous. But she's working away here. She works in some sort of, I don't know, to be honest. It's like a junk shop, a bit like Watto's. And I'm not exactly sure entirely who's in charge. She seems to be, or sometimes it's other people seem to be, but they're all doing junky things. She's got a bit of a sideline of where she gets parts and sells them on, without the bosses knowing about it. She's got contacts that can get things off world. So Cassian goes to her. He needs to get off world. Basically, he needs her to contact her contact because he needs to get off world quickly. She says, "Well, it'll be next week." He says, "No, you need to. It needs to be sooner than that." So basically, she says, "Yeah, all right, then I'll do that then." By the way, they're not a couple. She's got a boyfriend called Tim, who's an arsehole, and comes to a sticky end, but we'll see that later. But obviously, Tim's jealous of Cassie and he thinks something's going on. Nothing's going on. They're just, I wouldn't even call them friends, they're just associates. Here he is, that's Tim. He comes over asking, they need stuff doing work-related things. So that's that. So she agrees to, contact her contact. Right, another flashback. They're going out on a hunting party. I think that's this bit. Oh, no, it ain't, because we see a ship coming over. They're getting ready to go on a hunting party. See, they're putting war paint on. Obviously, a girl's in charge, obviously, because it's, 2022. And that's that. Right, so we'll come back to them in a bit. Right, this is this chap. He's proceeding. He's obviously having thoughts. Some other officers pass him and ask him if he's okay, and he says yeah, because he's just standing in front of this door for a minute or two, and I think he's deciding internally what to do, whether to carry on with this investigation. So anyway, he decides to do that. He goes inside, and this is obviously some sort of air traffic control centre, and he finds basically Cassian's ship leaving Morlan. Is it Morlan? See, I can't even remember that. Anyway, whatever. Leaving that planet, and he says he wants it tracing. So he says, that means, doing a lot of work, basically. He says, well, get on with it then. Or he'll find somebody else that can do it. So that's that. This chap here, don't ask me his name. He says Cassian owes him money, so he got a big alien behind him as muscle. There we go. Cassian says, I can't give you your deposit back. It's gone to wherever it's supposed to go to, but he wants it back. But Cassian fobs him off because he's just there for show. He's not really going to beat up Cassian, so Cassian sods off, and that's the last we see of them. It's basically just showing that Cassian, I suppose, can handle himself and he can talk himself out of situations. It's a bit like Han Solo, isn't it? Right, so what's going on here now? This is that's Tim. Bix is going on some errands. She says Tim's watching her through the window. He's following her, see where she's going. So they're going through the streets of whatever this town's called, on Ferrix. By the way, it's all. I don't know if there's any, the stagecraft, the volume work going on. Maybe there's a little bit. I don't know, but apparently it's a lot of on location and sets and stuff like that, and you can tell it's actually really cinematic and it's really well shot, and it looks nice. Right, so she goes. See, I've missed a bit now. She goes into this like another shop, and she says she needs such and such. Oh, see, I've gone too far. Anyway, she needs such and such. There we go. She needs, a whatever, and he says it's obviously code. So he says, in the back in the yellow racks. So that's obviously a code that she can, go where she needs to go. So that's the yellow rack. So she ends up going through, climbs up a ladder, and she's sending a message. It's obviously some sort of communications array. And she's sending a message to, it turns out to be Stellan Skarsgård. That's who it turns out to be. That's her contact, Luthien. So that's that. This is the young officer. I'm going to have to look and see what his bloody name is. Do you know what? I don't know. Is that him? I don't know, because the pictures that they're showing on IMDb, they don't look a lot like the headshots. Are not giving many clues as to who they are in the actual series. So I still don't know his name. It might tell us at another point. It might have told us in this, but I've missed it. Anyway, I'll just call him the officer. They've got a lead. So that's basically it. They've gone. It's gone to FedEx, so they know that. Right, back at the breaker's yard. This is some sort of security guard with his guard dogs. And he tells Cassian, he's not to come in here anymore, because he goes there, under the pretenses of doing work, but he's not. He's just getting stuff for himself, basically. So the guard tells him, not to come back. So basically, Cassian's losing his what's the word? His resources. People are turning their backs on him and stuff like that. Well, some of them are. Right, another flashback. Right, they're going on this hunting party now, I think, or maybe in a bit. And then a ship goes over. So they're just about to set off. I might have missed it, actually. Yeah, I have. I've missed it. Earlier on, a ship flew over. It was before they got ready. They saw a ship fly over, and it was the explosions and stuff going on. It were in flames, and it went down some distance away. And that's what they're going on the hunting party for. And I think, is that it, actually, for that episode? I do believe it is. Yes, it is. So that's the end of episode 1. See, not a lot happened. Just a lot of walking about in FedEx and Cassian killing somebody. Yeah. What can I say? Not a great deal happened. I'm glad they showed the first 3 episodes, because these first 3 episodes, apart from episode 3, which had quite a lot of action in, episode 1 and 2, not a lot happens, to be honest. It's a very slow burn. So it's a good job they showed the first 3 episodes. That's probably why they've done it, because there was some action in episode 3. They thought we'd better show some action, keep people with us. But yeah, that's episode 1. It was okay. Not exactly action-packed, but I was interested enough to keep watching. The characters are interesting. It's well acted. Is it Star Wars? I don't know. They've got droids and things and aliens and blasters, but is it Star Wars? Yeah, I suppose it is. But we'll keep going. I'd give this, for a score. What score shall I give it? Because I wasn't amazed by it, but I didn't hate it. I did like it, but it doesn't deserve a super high score, to be honest. I'd give this a 6 out of 10, so it's like above average. It's an above average score, 6 out of 10. So we'll leave it there for episode 1. So join me, in another video for episode 2. Right, I'm back. So, episode 2. It's another slow burn, I've got to admit. Let's get it up. There we go. We've got previously on Andor. So we know what happened, don't we? So let's just skip all that. There we go. There's the intro. Here's the intro logo that takes forever to come on. There we go. Right, so we're starting immediately with the flashback. This is, see, I forgot the name of it already. I've just talked about it, like, a minute ago. Canary. See, I can never remember these names. Of course, I'm old. Though, they're on the hunting party. They've seen a ship crash. We don't know what ship it is. Is it a Republic ship? Is it a separatist ship? We don't know. And I don't think we find out. I think it might be a Republic ship, but we're not entirely sure. Because they do mention there's a Republic cruiser entering orbit later. I don't know if it's this episode or episode 3 where that's mentioned. I can't remember. Anyway, so they're out running through the forest as they do, and they come across. This is what this is. This is obviously a big, like a big quarry, and obviously the planet is being used for its resources. Is it a republic quarry? Is it a separatist quarry? I don't know. It doesn't tell us. Obviously, they don't know. They have no knowledge of what's going on. Of course, they're a primitive Native American type people, hunter-gatherers. With no technology, but they've got some cool shoes. They've got some shoes on. I thought, they're well tailored. So I don't know where they've got them from. They make them themselves, or they've stolen them, from these. Do they go, stealing from, the more advanced people that are there? I don't know. Because they don't give us subtitles for their bloody language. Right, so we see that. Then we cut back to Ferrix. This chap is basically, he gets everybody up for work. He comes and starts banging his big bell. Gets everybody up for work in the morning. So that's what he's doing. See, everybody's starting to work. Cassian is lurking about as usual. See all these chaps heading for the breaker's yard. I think that's supposed to be where Cassian's working. I don't know. I don't know what he does. Yeah, he is. Look, skulking. There's a lot of skulking. There's Cassian in this. Skulking and lurking. That's what he does. Right, we're back with Bix. Bix is looking something up on a computer. Then Tim comes in and interrupts. So she turns off the computer. Here he is, look, and interrupts her. Says, we're going to dinner. And she says, not tonight. I've got stuff to do. Can we do it tomorrow? So he says, yeah, whatever. And then he goes and checks. She leaves, and then he goes and checks what she were up to. Obviously, it comes up in Orabesh. Have I said that right? Whatever. The galactic language. But then we get a nice translation here. Primo Authority seeking a Canary male resident of Ferrix for questioning. Citizens with any information, please contact the Preox Morlana Security HQ without delay. There we go. By the way, I don't know if Morlana and Ferrix are actually in the same system, inhabited planets in the same star system, or if they're in like neighbouring systems. I don't know. It doesn't make that entirely clear. And it flashes up, Canary. Flashes that, and then without delay, it flashes that as well. Look. Beep, beep. Right. So he knows something's up. There's Tim. Cassian's going. He's heading home. This is home. This is Marva. I believe I've got that right. Let me just double check. I'm sure it's Marva. Come on, where are you in the list? Come on, you should be near the top, surely. You're a famous actress. It's not showing it, is it? Why? Have I just missed it? Could have done. No, it's not showing her. How bizarre. Anyway, she's played by Fiona Shaw, who recently... why ain't it showing her? Who recently, said some unfortunate things in the press about, Andor being all about, the Trump years. I thought, what's she talking about that for? She's not even American. Stupid woman. Anyway, yeah, she's not even in the cast list here on YouTube, IMDb. No. That's weird. Well, they've missed her out. She has to be taken off it or something. Or is it an oversight? I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, she's called Marva, and she's basically like his mother. People call her when they're talking about her, his mum, his mother. Weird. But it's Fiona Shaw, and we learned that she found him on Canary. To look that up again. Why can't I remember that? I don't know. But she found him on Canary, as we will see. Right, where were we? By the way, they haven't mentioned Fiona Shaw and Marv, but apparently B2 Emo is played by Dave Chapman. Why I can't get over that. Anyway, she's called Marv. She's waiting for him. She knows something's up, but he's, fobs her off. But, she's wily because she's had her past, as we find out later on. She's not some sweet little old lady, she knows her stuff. So there's all that going on. So they're having words. Yes. B2 Emo, he's also had the transmission, received it about the security forces, the corporate security forces are looking for, a canary, I remember, a canary male. And she says, we told everybody you were from Fest. Who have you told that you're from Canary? And he said, I don't know, friends. And she said, you're supposed to be family. Anyway, so he says, whatever. So he goes to see Bix, and they have words. She says, she's been in touch and will be here tomorrow. Will her contact? Tim's followed them and watched them. Is going to a public payphone. Don't see many of those these days. Never mind in a galaxy far, far away drinking game. We don't see him in this galaxy, well, on this planet, a great deal now, do we? But anyway, they've got him there. So he gets in touch, and he dobs Cassian in, because he's a bloody grass. That's what he is. He's a grass. So obviously they've got this information. So they call this officer chap, whose name I don't know. There he is. And they get a visual, so they can see Cassian there, look. That one. That's not me. That's somebody's alarm outside, if you can hear that. Shush. Hey, dear. So he knows who he's looking for now. And then we see the hostess from turns out it's a brothel. She comes in, there she is. And obviously she can say, yes, that's the man I spoke to. Because she don't want to get into trouble, does she? So they're closing in on Cassian. They know he's on Ferrix. They know his name. So they're going to go get him. This is Tim in his wherever he lives. There's a knock on the door, and it's Bix. Bix Colleen is her full name. I forgot that right. Yes, Bix Colleen. There she is. She's come over. She said she couldn't sleep, so they're going to basically do it. Look, she starts getting undressed, and so they have a night of passion, no doubt. Right, so the officer meets with this chap. Is obviously experienced. I think he's a sergeant. I think he calls him a sergeant in the corporate security. You get the impression that these are people that may have wanted to join, the Empire, become Imperial officers and Imperial soldiers, but they probably weren't quite good enough, so they've ended up working, for the corporations. So you get that impression. But they're still, all stiff and, wanting to show how good they are. But he's obviously experienced. But he's saying he wants to put a team together, so it takes a lot of advice from him. So they head out to Ferrix. That's what they're going to do. He's obviously green as the officer, isn't he? But he lets them know that he's in charge. Right, this is Cassian again. He's back in that ship, and it hits a panel, and something falls out, and it turns out it's something important, an important piece of equipment. Pardon me. Something Imperial that's sealed and worth a lot of money, worth 40,000 credits, apparently. This is what he's going to sell to Bix's contact. That's how he's going to get the money to get off planet. Don't know why I didn't just steal the ship that he had in the beginning, that he got that he had when he travelled from Morgana 1 back to Ferrix. Why didn't he just use that ship again? I mean, it does say the chap, that tells him not to use the wherever he was, the scrap yard again, tells him to get out. Why don't he just take that ship anyway? But he doesn't. Right, we're back here with these, with young Cassian. They're out. They found the crashed ship, and there's a couple of bodies next to it. So they're sneaking up on that. They've got the blowpipes with them. See, I've gone too far. Look, gone too far. So he's watching. She's sneaking up. There's some people. A couple of men are dead seemingly dead on the ground. There we go. So she's heading for that. Then we cut to. In a minute. There we go. See, this ship appears. This is over Ferrix. It's Luthien, played by Stellan Skarsgård. There we go. He comes in and he lands. He lands like two clicks, it says, from a shuttle station, which is about 40 clicks from the city. So obviously, it doesn't want to draw attention to himself. But if anything goes wrong with the shuttles, if they're getting a bit of trouble, then it's a long walk, isn't it? But as we'll see, things pan out. Right, that's the shuttle station. So he heads over there, gets a shuttle into the town. Right, this is Tim. He's been up all night after, I presume they did it. He's obviously, he's got a lot on his conscience. He suspects being up to no good. This is Cassian with B2. He's getting his things together. He finds a comm unit so he can talk to B2. So that works. But it kind of drops him in the poo a bit later. But anyway. There's Marva. Can't remember what she's doing there. Oh, she's having a look through Cassian, in Cassian's room, having a look through his stuff. That's his little blow dart from when he were on Canary. I have to think about that every time. Right, we're back on flashback now. Back to Canary with young Cassian. This is about 20 years earlier, isn't it? Something like that. Obviously in the midst of the Clone Wars, no doubt. A couple of bodies, look. She goes up to one and she gives it a prod. Seems dead. So she goes up to the other one in a minute. They're all watching on. But the one she prodded first apparently isn't dead. They've all got this yellowish hue to them. So I don't know if it's some sort of poisoning or gas that's gone through the ship. I don't know, but it seems to have dissipated. Right, he gets up, look. And he's got a blaster, as we will see. Pew, shoots her. Presume she's dead, but we'll see. We don't actually know. So they all start using the blowpipes on this chap, whoever he is. He's shooting at him and missing. He's shooting wildly and missing, but they're super accurate with their blowpipes. He ends up with loads of them stuck in him, as we will see in a moment, if I can find a shot of that. Come on, then. Is that him hitting the deck? There we go. Look, covered in blowpipe darts. So I'm guessing he's dead now. So they go and the others go and gather up the fallen leader and take her away. But Cassian stays there and he climbs into there, as we will see in a minute. There's looking there, look. But then we come back to the present day. Cassian's asking this chap about something, but I can't actually remember what. But never mind. I'm sure it's important. Right, these are on the way. They've got the squad prepared. They're on the way to Ferrix. I think they're in hyperspace. It looks like it when you look out the window. They seem to be in hyperspace. So maybe it isn't a neighbouring system. I don't know. He gives a bit of a pep talk, but obviously he's green. They don't really pay much attention to him. He's obviously nervous, and the sergeant, when he's done, the sergeant says, "Well said, sir," and has the men clapping and stuff. But it's obvious it's his first command. It's a bit like I forgot his name in Aliens. The lieutenant. I can't remember his name. Him anyway. Gorman. Yes, he's like Gorman in Aliens, isn't he? He's a bit green. And a bit of an asshole. Right, this is Stellan Skarsgård as Luthien. He's on the shuttle heading into the city. We'll call it Ferrix City. I don't know if that's what it's called. It starts up a conversation with this chap. For no real reason. Not that I can see. It's just there to fill time, basically. Just to show that they're travelling some distance and that life's hard in the Empire. Oh, this bit. This is Cassian going through the breaker's yard. And for some reason, there's a drum solo going on. I don't know why. Whoever wrote the score for it has decided they wanted a drum solo. So there's all that sort of thing. And I'm like, what? What's going on? And I think that's the end of that episode. So there you go. See, I told you not a lot happened in that episode. Yeah, that's it. So another slow burn. Thankfully, episode 3 is much better. So we'll get rid of that. Yeah, episode 2 were a bit... Well, to be honest, it were a bit poo, to be honest. It were a bit poo. Yeah, not a lot happened. Well, stuff happened, obviously. But it was, like as I said, it's a slow burn. Positioning characters. We found out that Tim's dobbed Cassian in. He gets his comeuppance in episode 3, as you'll see. But we've not really gone a long way, have we? They're closing in on Cassian. With 2 episodes in, we still aren't seeing any sign of the Empire. Whatever. This is an average episode. I'd give this one a 5 out of 10. It wasn't as good as episode 1. Yeah, a fella got killed with blow darts. Whoopie-doo. I mean, there could have been Ewoks, couldn't there? But they're not. They're Canary. Yeah, 5 out of 10. So, yeah, not a great episode. Thankfully, episode 3 is better. And I'll talk about that in the next video. Right, I'm back. So, let's fire up the old thingamabob. Right, so, there you go. There's Andor. I've skipped the previously on, because, we know what happened. Not a lot. Right. So, straight away, in a flashback, this is young Andor. It's about 20 years or so before, the present day. Andor climbs into young Cassian climbs into the downed ship. Remember, the leader of his hunting party, female leader, obviously, was shot by a survivor, and then they killed him with their blow darts in episode 2. The rest of the party took away the leader. We don't know if she's dead. She might be. I don't know. But he stayed behind. He's curious. He's going to look inside here. So that's what he does. There we are. Comes inside, finds some more dead bodies. Remember in episode 2? I think it was episode 2. I might have been episode 1. Whatever. I was talking about how they're supposed to be primitive. A bit like Native Americans. The hunter-gatherers. But they've got nice shoes. Look at that. It's got rubber soles and everything. Have they stolen them? we saw that there were a big quarry where, what material was being mined, obviously, some sort of metals probably. Did they go in and steal things from them? Maybe, I don't know. Because if they're supposed to be these primitive hunter-gatherers, they wouldn't have shoes like that, would they? Not well stitched up and with rubber soles and stuff. They wouldn't have that sort of thing, would they? So I think they've stolen these. But anyway, there's a dead body there. They've all got this yellowish colour to them. So I think there we go. I think have they been gassed? I don't know. Something happened, and the atmosphere on the ship's poisoned them. They've all got this yellowish hue. Or does it just to make them look dead? Are they like greenish, greeny yellow? Anyway, they're all dead. So anyway, this door opens, some sort of control centre. It goes in, and we see that it's all very, equipment, technology, like we've seen in the original, Star Wars, A New Hope. It's that sort of era, isn't it? Looks very, the technology's along those lines, which is cool. Cassian's looking at something, and he looks at his reflection in the dark reflective surfaces, as we see here. And the thing is, never seen. There we go. He's looking, and he goes like that, as though he's never seen his reflection before. I thought, has he never looked in water? You see reflection in water, can't you? But I suppose it's emphasising that he's primitive. He doesn't really understand. Because then he starts smashing the place up for some reason. Right, we'll go back to present day. Here's the breaker's yard on Ferrix. Where are we? This is Cassian. I think he's waiting for his... he's waiting for his friend. Right, there's his friend here. Remember that in episode 1 he asked him to lie for him, basically. Give him an alibi. This is the same one. And he's telling him that he's going away. There we go. He's telling him that he's going away and he's going to leave the money he owes him with Marva. I don't actually know if he does now. I think if he's left any money, he must have left it there to start with. Because I don't know if... Because he hasn't got the money off Luthien yet, has he? For the 40,000 credits for this bit of equipment that he's got. He hasn't got that yet, so maybe he doesn't leave the money. Or maybe he's left what he had already, I don't know. Like I say, it doesn't make it clear. So he's telling him he's going away, and he'll try and get back at some point. So there we go. Right, the shuttle arrives. I like the design of the shuttle. It's a bus, isn't it? It's a bus that flies, and it looks like one, and I like that. So here we go, it lands. The steps arrive, obviously a droid that steps. I presume its head goes down, but then it comes up here, look. Like I say, cool stuff. Is it Star Wars? Yeah, I suppose it is. I suppose. Was that a droid there I just saw back there? Oh, I missed it now. There we go. Oh, it is, yeah. I think that's a droid, isn't it? Yeah, very good. A bit like C-3PO, but different. So I just noticed it, and I had to go back and check. Right, so here's Stellan Skarsgård as Luthien. Has he got a surname? Let's have a look. Stellan Skarsgård. Is he not in either? IMDb, you're not being very good here. You haven't got Stellan Skarsgård in the cast list either. They haven't got Fiona Shaw as Marva, and they haven't got Stellan Skarsgård. No, they haven't. Why? You're rubbish. Have they got them in the other cast list? No, they haven't. Well, that's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Let's have a look on Wikipedia. Cast and characters. Luthien Rail, yes. Oh, yes, I think I've seen that mentioned before. Luthien Rail. Yes, and Fiona Shaw as Marva. See, Wikipedia's got the cast in. Not the full cast, but at least we know they are now. So he's talking to this little fella that he was talking to on the shuttle. The part ways, and that's the last we see of him. So Stellan goes trudging through Ferrix City. That's what I'm going to call it. Meets up with Bix. She's having a drink and she sets off after him. She said there's been a complication, but it was too late to contact him. I don't know what the complication was. But here we go. These arrive out of hyperspace. This is the officer and his team. They've got some transports underneath. They're going to drop off. And they look very like clone. What do they call them? Clone dropships, whatever they call them. They look very similar to them. But obviously this is Imperial times. Maybe they bought. They're using older tech. They haven't got up-to-date Imperial ships, have they? So they're dropping down to the planet. All right, another flashback. Right, we're back at... let's go back a little bit further. We're back at the ship. See, I've gone too far now. Here we go. Oh, there's B2 is out doing something. I don't know what. There we go. Oh, there we go. There, the flashback cutscene. We saw B2 as old and battered. Here we see him now. He looks new, doesn't he? He's all nice and not battered. So we're back on the ship that crashed, and Fiona Shaw, Marv, with another chap. I don't know his name. They're obviously salvagers, aren't they? They're there to salvage what they can. I don't know how they've got there so fast, but they have. And they come across young Cassian, who's smashing the place up, as we will see in a moment. He's smashing the place up, and she's talking to him. See, she's got a gun in her hand. She's talking to him, but he don't understand her, and he's talking in Canary, and so they don't understand each other. I think that's that. For the moment, see, he's terrified. He thinks they're going to kill him. Right, we go back to present day. These security forces are arriving at Ferrix. So they arrive, they come out. There's 3 ships. I think there's 3, maybe 4. I don't know. But they're in separate squads. North, south, east, and west, or whatever. So they're moving into position. Luthien is heading to his meeting with Cassian. Then we cut back, another flashback back to the young Cassian. And Fiona basically gives him a sedative, knocks him out, and takes him, and he's saying, leave him, but, she takes him. So that's how we got off Canary. She kidnapped him, basically, and raised him as her own. And he doesn't bear any ill will, it seems. Tells everyone he's from Fest and not Canary. Don't know why. But that's what they decided. Does it matter? Does it matter where he's from? I don't know. Anyway, they arrive, the security guards and the officer. They arrive at Marver's, and they said they've got a warrant to search for Cassian Andor. So they basically burst in and start ransacking the place. This is where Bix learns that Tim... He's the one that contacted the security people. So she's not best pleased with Tim. So she heads out to try and find Cassian and warn him. Cassian and Luthien. Meanwhile, they're searching Marver's place. But then he arrives. B2 arrives, and then Cassian uses his comm thing and starts talking to B2. So they know that this is, Cassian's place. And they're trying to get him to tell him where he is, but they don't. But using the comm signal, the sergeant triangulates where it is. So they find out where it is. So they head out, leave a couple of guards behind. So they're heading towards them. The noose is tightening on Cassian. Luthion's ears meets with Cassian. There they are, they're heading through. Meanwhile, all the city, so like, it's sending signals to the next part of the city. They're banging on these stuff, clanking metal and stuff, letting everybody know that, security's moving through the city and the shops start closing because they know the shit's going down. You can say that because they say it in this later. And the B word. Anyway, so this is Cassian and Luthien meeting. And it's basically, it's an audition, really. Cassian doesn't know it, but he's auditioning to join the rebellion. Luthien basically wants him to go with him because he sees the potential in Cassian, and he's wasted on that planet. This is where Bix finds out about Tim dobbing him in. So this is Cassian getting the that device. Oh, you can't see, it's behind my fat head. The device, it's an Imperial something or other, and it's sealed, so it's worth 40,000 credits. And this is him saying, "Give me my money." So Luthien gets out the credits, shows him them, don't give him them, shows him them. But then the security forces arrive in a minute. So he's saying, there's more to life than, eking a living, and you could come and work for me. And then it starts talking about, eventually they'll catch up with you, and then they'll hang you. And then he says, like your father was hung. And then I went, hanged. I shouted at the telly, nearly. People aren't hung, people are hanged. Anyway, but whatever. So he pulls his gun out, this Cassian. How do you know that? So obviously Luthien knows all about Cassian Andor, knows his history. Knows he's from Canary and all that. But, they say he was from Fest. So Cassian's getting very aggressive. Meanwhile, all the city's all stirring into action, but they don't do anything. They just hide, basically. So Cassian's still pointing his gun, and then he says, "Come and work for me." And but then all the security all arrives. So Luthien blows up the door for some reason. He says he put slap charges on the door and then blows it up. I think killing at least one of the security men. You'd have thought he just left the door closed, wouldn't you? They find that there's another way out. There's a little passage, a little tunnel that they can duck out to escape. But there are all these metal things hanging from the ceiling, and all that starts falling with the explosion and stuff, and then they all start shooting. The guards come in and start shooting. And so all this paraphernalia starts dropping. Nearly killing, nearly squishing them. There we go. See if we can get a shot of it. There, see, it's all collapsing. So anyway, there's a nice little, bit of action here, a bit of a gunfight, and they've caught her. For some reason, this guard here is suspicious of Bix because she's running, and he says, stop right there. In a minute. Pew pew pew. Oh, they've got out, by the way, but they're still being pursued by the guards. Anyway, they've got these other guys, other squad. They've caught Bix and they handcuff her to a pipe or whatever. Then Tim arrives. He says, "What are you doing?" And they said, "Stop right there." So Tim doesn't stop right there because he's an idiot and keeps running towards him. So they shoot the bugger up. So he's dead. Should have just stopped, shouldn't he? But obviously he wanted to save Bix because he loves her, even though he's an idiot. So she's not happy because, even though Tim dobbed him in, she still loved him. Anyway, so they all go. They leave her there. He's told to head back to their landing ship. dropship, whatever they want to call it. Because he's got to get in the air and do like a scan of the area. That's his order. And while the rest go and rendezvous with the others, where it's all kicking off. So they're going to set up an ambush now, or they think they are. So they all get into position with rifles and stuff. Here the officer, gets himself ready. But they've outthought him, and he ends up with a gun pressed to his... in a minute. In a minute, some other stuff happens. Right, they're all still getting into position. Look, still getting into position. These other two guys that are guarding Marva, they'd run away as well. They go and join their other squads, so they leave her alone because she's no danger, is she? So here we go. They're all ready for action. There we go. He's ready, but then there's a gun. There we go. Ends up with a gun at the back of his head, and it's Cassian. And Luthien's there, and Luthien tells him to kill him, but obviously Cassian doesn't. They tie him up, and they go and look for some speeders. In a minute, this chap heads to the dropship and takes off. Earlier on, we'd seen Cassian's friend from the breaker's yard glancing over at the dropship and then walking off. So I thought, he's done something. He's put something inside. He's going to make it blow up, but it's he hasn't done that. He's done something else, as we will see. The dropship takes off, and we find out it's been anchored. There we go. It takes off. Look, let me see if I can show it. Look, it takes off. There we go, and it's anchored to this whatever it is, a big piece of equipment, and it carries on flying, and this thing's flying about and bashing into stuff, and then it makes the dropship crash into a. Oh, see, have I missed it? Yeah, I've missed it. Look. It crashes into, part of a spaceship. There we go. Let me show it. Blown up. So that's that chap dead. It's like a garage, this, in it. And he says, as you can see, there's a couple of speeders there. Is that a speeder bike? I think it is, isn't it? And a speeder. And Cassian says, how many of those charges have you got left? Remember, he said he had some slap charges that he put on the door. Well, they're going to do something with them. So, there we go. The speeder bursts out of the garage, so you will see. Pew, pew, pew. They're all shooting at it, look. Pew, pew, pew. So they think, obviously you know that they're not in there. Because I thought that immediately. They're not in there. Anyway, so they're shooting the speeder, and it crashes, does the speeder. There we go. Comes to a halt. But they're obviously not in there, because they come bursting out. See, I've gone too far, look. They come bursting out on the speeder bike. In a minute. See, I've gone too far, because I'm useless. See, they're going up to that. Come on when you're ready. See, if I try and move it on manually, it won't work, will it? I'll try it now. I'll go too far, look. Here we go. See, they're head out on the speeder bike. There we go. And he uses his slap charges, blows up the other speeder, presumably killing a few of these guards. So this young officer realises he's in trouble now. They've escaped, and they've killed his men, and, remember, they were just supposed to mark all this down as an accident. We're beginning of episode 1, when Cassian killed the other two guards. Way back in the beginning, it was just supposed to be an accident. But no, he wanted to get to the bottom of it, and now he's got guards killed. He's been outfoxed. Then we're going back to another flashback. Oh, see there. This might be a volume thing, because it looks very fake when it shows them on the speeder bike. Look, that doesn't look very realistic, does it? But anyway, right, back to Fiona Shaw in the past with young Cassian. She's carrying him to their ship. We see... Oh, hang on. I think we see that the ship is the one that Cassian was in at the beginning, where he got basically the bit of equipment from that he sold, or he was going to sell to Luthien. I think that's the same ship. So anyway, so she knows he's gone. Will he ever be back? We don't know. He will be. Some people free Bix, and they pull her away from Tim. So everybody knows that Cassian's gone. Maybe they think he's dead. I don't know. This is the sergeant saying, "Come on, sir, snap out of it." Cassian and Luthien head to Luthien's ship, which is, slightly reminiscent of the Millennium Falcon, different design, obviously, but reminiscent of it. Oh, and then there's another flashback, another quick flashback. In a moment. There we go, this is a flashback back to young Cassian. See, they don't tell you this stuff. Because obviously that's not Luthien's ship. This is Fiona Shaw's ship, Marva's ship. So I think this is the same ship that Cassian were using in earlier on. There we go. So they're taking him away. So maybe he's the first of his people to go into space. I don't know. But basically that's it. So they're heading off. Young Cassian's heading off. Old Cassian's heading off. And that's the end of it. So that's the end of it, I think. There we go. Yeah, that's the end of episode 3. A better episode than episodes 1 and 2. Still, leaves a bit to be desired, I must be honest. But is it Star Wars? I ask this in every episode. I don't know, to be honest. I don't really know. It could be, but it's just very generic sci-fi at the moment, to be honest. There's no stormtroopers, there's no Imperial presence, not even any clone troopers in the flashbacks. So that's it. But I'm enjoying it. This is the best episode so far. But even then, I'd only give it a 7. Hopefully it gets better, because it's a long season. We've got 12 episodes, and we're only 3 episodes in, so we have another 9 to go. So hopefully it'll get better. That's all I can say about it, really. It's a slow burn, with sporadic action parts. And hopefully that'll keep us interested enough to keep tuning in, which I will. So, as I said, I'd give this one a 7 out of 10. It's all right. It's not blowing my socks off, though. I was hoping it'd be really good, because I'm a big fan of Rogue One. And it's not really good, it's just okay. What can I say? So it's a bit disappointing, really. So, until episode 4 next week. Got to wait a week now. Till episode 4 next week. Wherever you are in the galaxy, look after each other. Until next time, I'll see thee.